Hey, welcome back to another video. My name's Elsa and my husband's name is Barron. We have a baby girl named Coyote Lucille. We traveled for 6 years in our Scamp trailer, and that is where we got into a very strong routine of journaling. Well, I guess I had started some years prior to that, but the Scamp really strengthened both of our journaling practices. I've got a big playlist full of my bullet journaling and journaling videos if you want to take a little bit more of a deep dive into the way that I journal. And all of my spreads inside my journals. It's about to be the start of a new year. We thought that we would get on and talk about our journaling practices, what has kept us consistent, and why we journal at all. We'll get Barron in here first. He's got a lot of great tips for somebody who's never journaled before on how to stay consistent and just keep coming back to the journal. And then I'll come back and show you my more intense style of journaling.
Hello, I am a late onset journaler. I didn't grow up journaling or ever keep a journal throughout my entire life until we were living in the Scamp, and I was super inspired by how Elsa kept a journal and always knew what we'd been doing and which week or what year. I know what year I graduated high school and what year I was born, but other than that, it's all pretty muddy. Keeping a journal has helped me keep track of progress through life and the different things that were on my mind at different periods. And also, I have a tendency to have an ascending goalpost in life to where I'll have big goals or big ideas or visions and then accomplish them, and then it just slides up. So it feels like I'm not making any progress. But then looking back at old journal entries when we were living in the Scamp and wanting to buy land, for example, it's like, oh, I actually have been doing stuff when it feels like I've just been treading water. I have these little journals, they're little Moleskine journals, and I attach a little pin keeper on here, so I always have a pin. I try to eliminate friction as much as possible because getting into journaling in the whatever time of day is difficult. I just write the date at the top and then allow myself to just free write whatever's on my mind, whatever I've been thinking about. If I don't feel like I have anything to think about, I'll write that. And then eventually my brain will kind of click on, and then I all of a sudden have things to write about. Some of my journal entries you can see are just a half a page. Some of them are a full page. Some of them are multiple pages. But I give myself absolute freedom to make it as easy as possible. So I keep a daily sort of free flow journal in these Moleskines. To go with that, I have a field notes, little kind of ideation journal to go with it. I like the dotted ones. This one is just blank, but especially while we were building the house and stuff, I always had a journal in my pocket to quick jot notes because I like to keep track of my sort of to-do lists and that kind of thing on a computer. Like I like to use the app called Things. It's a really awesome to-do list task manager app. But if I'm not at my computer often, then that just gets so bloated and out of control that it's not really useful. And that's kind of the stage that I'm in right now. Like when I was writing my book, I was using Things a lot, but now I'm never at a computer. I've been doing a lot of like physical labor things and building things and all that kind of stuff. So keeping my to-do list on the computer doesn't work super well. So these will just be, if I come up with a quick idea and I'm like, oh, I need to write about this later, I'll keep that in here. Or if I'm writing down building materials, whatever, that kind of stuff. What I also do is I use an app called Bear, but it's just like a standard note-taking app, but it just allows you to like format things in a cool way and make to-do lists and everything. I've been working on the hunting videos, so I have tips for hunting, good boots, decent rifle, solid bipod, that kind of stuff. But anything that I just need to like quick keep track of, I just dump in one note, and then I can like springboard off from there. But this just keeps it in sort of a chronological order. And then once I've checked off those things, I just put the date at the top and then copy and paste them down lower in the note. And that kind of gets rid of them so that I still have track of them, but they're kind of archived away. And I like doing this, like I'll use reminders for certain things. If, hey, remind me that I got to take the jerky out of the oven, that kind of thing. But what I don't like about reminders is all of those tend to vanish and I can't keep track of different things. So that's how I keep track of that between field notes and a long do list on my phone. But then if the different things on my do list are getting out of control, then I'll journal about it. On the sauna, I've made all this progress. On the shed, I've made this progress. Here are the things I still need to do. And just writing those things down and journaling about things if I'm overwhelmed helps my brain kind of defragment and kind of turn off those background processes, sort of like a computer. Journaling is kind of like opening the task manager and terminating a lot of idle processes, because then my brain doesn't have to like keep them churning in the back of my head. It just knows, okay, they're in the journal. If I need to like check back in on anything, it's all there. I have this bigger notebook, and if journaling isn't super overwhelming to you and it comes more easily to you, I would probably start with a bigger notebook because they're a lot easier to write in. This one is the same brand, Moleskine, but it's just a lined journal. And Elsa uses dingbats, and I have a dingbat journal, but I want to finish this one before I open that one. But what I'll do with this is, say I come up with a topic or something within my little journal that needs to be expanded upon. When I was writing my book, most of the chapters were written in a journal like this, to where when I first was getting into hunting, then I wrote several pages so that I could remember that in case I needed to come back to it and make a video about it like I'm making currently. Yeah, all of these are kind of more essay oriented and topical, to where I can expand on them and kind of like have a more refined idea. So yeah, that's what this bigger guy's for me. This is lowest level, small things, little ideas. This expands upon them. And then this is more refined and kind of almost final form before I type things out. I'm far faster and just better at typing than I am writing. My handwriting is embarrassing at best. But by physically writing, it slows my mind down and helps me to articulate my thoughts in a way that I can't do on the computer as well. Even if you're sick at typing, I would still encourage you, I would almost doubly encourage you to write, because it's a whole different experience than typing. And it'll slow your brain down so that you can articulate your thoughts in a more thorough manner. But yeah, just brain dumps. But it's cool to have these sort of chronological journals to reflect on life and give me a sense of the progress that I have or haven't made. Generally, I'm making more progress than I let myself believe. Not all of but the majority of the chapters in my book spawned from journal entries. And I never aspired to be a writer or publish a book. It just kind of came about. And now it's sold well over 3,000 physical copies. So maybe you got a book in you that's just waiting to come out. You could help a lot of people with it. I like to think that my book has helped people. You should check it out at nomad.com. You can pick yourself up a copy. It's available worldwide digitally and in the States in physical form. Highly encourage a journaling practice. It's been really helpful for me. Now we'll turn it over to the professional journaler, Elsa. She's amazing, and she's who inspired me to get into this at all. So take it over, Elsa.
Cut. Okay, I'm back. And like I said at the beginning, I have a big playlist full of all of my journaling videos. And if there's anything in this video that you want to go more in depth into, those videos are what you're gonna wanna check into. Today's just a casual journal chat. This stack of journals is only half of my journals. Wow. These are my Dingbats journals, my very, very favorite. They're really durable. The paper is super nice and soft and smooth. I love a dotted journal. And the other half of my journals are Moleskines, Barron's favorite. They're not my favorite because they don't expand very well and they don't lay flat very well. Paper quality is nice. They're more of a low profile journal if you're looking for something to slide into your bag. But once I found Dingbats, I have never gone back. Now that you have some tips on keeping up with a journaling practice, there are so many different ways you can go into journaling, so many different types of journaling. There's creative journaling where you fill your journal with paints and markers and it's more of an art portfolio. There's junk journaling where you save clippings from your day, stamps, receipts, note cards. I would really enjoy getting into junk journaling, but I just don't want to keep the junk. There's bullet journaling, which I have had a history of doing, but I don't quite journal the same way. I've always called myself a minimalist bullet journal because I never liked to use all of the various pens and markers. My spreads were always black and white. Very simple, very minimalist. You could do recipe journals, gratitude journals, book journals. I do have a book journal. I meant to turn this book journal into a video last year, but then I had a baby. 2024 was definitely my year of reading. You could do this with anything that you're into, documenting and just recording it in a physical place. It's really fun to do. My preferred use of a journal is, I guess they call it therapy journaling. Anything that's on my mind, if I need it to get out of my head, I put it in my journal. For example, when I had a miscarriage or when I had a traumatic birth, to be able to get those really intense memories out of my head, I put them in my journal, and it felt like then I could release them out of my brain. Didn't have to think about them anymore. When I'm struggling or am going through stress or have some really fun memories, things that I want to make sure to keep, I write them down. It's gotten to the point where I need to have my journal with me at all times. I don't go on any trips without a journal. It follows me around the house. I always have a journal. And I didn't think that I would be able to make the time to journal through postpartum and having a baby, but there have been a lot of times where I've just, like I said, needed to get things off my chest, out of my head, to something that will listen and only listen. This year's new journal is going to be the exact same spread that I did last year. I'm doing the same spread, nothing is changing. I do a monthly calendar, then a kind of monthly week layout, and then I do daily journaling from there until the next month. And now that we're approaching the new year, this is my very favorite part of journaling, my favorite thing to do that I always look forward to at the end of the year. I think this is my 8th time doing this. It's a year in review. I use the same prompts every year, and what I used to do is I would print them off and then tape them into my journal. This was cool, but again, it makes a journal very bulky and I cannot stand that. So a few years ago, I started drawing them into my journals. And again, this is in my last year's bullet journal video, so check that out if you want more details. This year, I added my own prompt page, 2025 awards, favorite food, favorite quote, favorite song, things like that. It's just so fun to reflect on the past year. It can kind of feel at the end of a year like you didn't really do anything, especially this year in postpartum. I can't remember most of the year, but in reflecting and looking back, you realize how long an entire year truly is. It's fun to reflect on all of the memories and all the things you truly did do in the past year. And then it's amazing to goal set for the upcoming year. And it's even more fun to look back when you're mid-year and see what your goal setting was and where you're at, how you're doing. In the past, I would always set aside an hour or two to fill this out. This year, I'll have to do it during nap time and after Odie goes to bed for the night, but that's okay. If I had any tips for somebody who wanted to start journaling who hasn't before, I would say try to keep your journal close to you at all times. Keep it by your bed. Make a routine of it. Even if you have nothing to write, do it like Barron. Just fill up a page with anything. Just brain dump. And like me, you just might get to a point where you reach for your journal because you need to journal. There are books on books on books I could write from the stories that I have in these journals. And while you wait for that to one day come, you can go and buy Barron's book at normal2nomad.com. He worked really hard on it. It took him 5 years to write that book. And I think that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this very casual, chatty journal talk video. We'll leave the link to my bullet journaling playlist right here. Click that right now and go watch. It's an art form of mine that I love so much. Okay, thanks for watching. Let us know if you liked this style of video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.